One evening, driven by hunger, Amara spied a plate of leftover yam and stew by the back door left for the dog. Her stomach growled loudly. Hunger, they say, teaches patience, but sometimes it teaches desperation. Amara looked around. She grabbed the plate, devouring the food rapidly, almost savagely, tears welling in her eyes, not just from the flavor, but from the indignity and sheer relief. She finished it quickly, put the plate back, and slipped away. The next morning, Ngozi discovered the empty plate, her face twisted into a mask of pure fury. She held up the plate, her voice like a viper's hiss. Amara, where is this food? Amara emerged from her room. She was so scared. Auntie, I was hungry. Hungry? Ngozi screamed, dropping the plate and stepping towards her. You stole the food that was kept for my dog. Once upon a time, in the bustling heart of Lagos lived Ifunanya, a queen among traders. Her wisdom was as vast as her wealth. Ifunanya wasn't just a market seller, she was an Iyaloja, a queen among traders. Her store was a beacon of prosperity, and her word is bond stronger than any written contract. From dawn till dusk, she navigated the joyous chaos of the market. Ifunanya was a successful businesswoman with a very kind heart. While Ifunanya was busy making money, her younger sister Ngozi was busy spending it. She was always involved in one trouble or another and would need Ifunanya to bail her out of it. Ngozi was either dreaming up fruitless business ventures or spending lavishly. Ifunanya loved her sister, but she was tired of her spending habits, and one day she decided to stop giving Ngozi money, and Ngozi hated her sister for it. Ifunanya tried explaining to her sister that it was time she became self-sufficient and financially responsible. Ngozi's remark was, you have so much money, but you can't spend it on me. You don't have a child, your husband is dead. You have no one else to give your money to. But me, Ngozi said to Ifunanya. It was true Ifunanya's husband had died, but Ifunanya still longed to be a mother. And one day her heart desire was fulfilled. She found Amara. Amara was adopted as a tiny infant and loved unconditionally by Ifunanya. Ngozi hated Ifunanya for coming into the picture and taking her sister's attention away from her. But she hid this jealousy from her sister. Amara was a ray of sunshine in Ifunanya's life. Amara was sheltered but not spoiled. She had been raised with the value of education, the dignity of hard work, and the importance of integrity. Amara lived in comfort in a home filled with the scent of Ifunanya's special pepper soup and the echo of her favorite lullaby. In fact, most people knew Ifunanya as Amara. Amara adored her mother. She was her pillar of strength and hope. She believed, as many did, that Amara was indestructible, a force of nature that would forever light her path. But even the mightiest Iroko tree, rooted deep in the earth, can be struck by an unseen storm. One hot afternoon, as the sun beat down on the market, Yamara, mid-haggle over an Ankara fabric, swayed. Her strong hands flew to her head. She stopped talking and fell to the ground and fainted. Panic surged as they rushed her to a private hospital. Dr. Okoro, a compassionate, ethical man in his 40s, attended to her. Amara, my dear, please sit, he said, his voice soft and grave. Amara collapsed onto a chair, tears streaming down her cheeks. Your mother, Yamara, has suffered a severe stroke. She is in a deep coma. Her brain activity is minimal. We have done everything we can, but the next few days will be critical. We are supporting her with machines. Amara covered her face. She sobbed silently. Just then, Yamara's younger sister, Auntie Ngozi, hurried into the waiting room. Ngozi was outwardly sympathetic, but carried a subtle air of calculation. She immediately went to Amara, embracing her, patting her back. Ah, my sister, what has happened to her? Ngozi cried, her voice laced with performative grief. Amara, my child, tell me everything. Amara, choked with tears, tried to explain. Dr. Koro gently took over. Madam Ngozi, your sister is in a critical condition. She is in a coma. We are maintaining her vitals, but a coma? Ngozi cut him off, her voice suddenly firm, almost cold, contradicting her grief. Doctor, what hope is there, truly? Be honest with me. Madam, Dr. Koro said, a slight frown on his face as he sensed her tone. While her condition is grave, there's always a flicker of hope. A brain scan might show. Ngozi stepped closer, lowering her voice. Doctor, I am her next of kin. Yamara would not want to suffer. She would not want to linger like this and be a burden to herself and a burden to us. I insist you move the life support. Dr. Okoro's eyes widened slightly. He glanced at Amara, who was still too consumed by grief to truly process the words that were coming out of her aunt's lips. Madam, please reconsider. It's a life we are talking about here. We could wait a little longer for Amara's sake. There is nothing to wait for, Doctor, Ngozi said, her voice sharp and final. This is my decision. I understand the implications fully. Do it now. Dr. Koro stared at her, a pained expression on his face. He turned to Amara, her eyes swollen with tears, incapable of challenging her aunt. She trusted Ngozi, who was acting with such certainty. Amara was lost in a fog of sorrow. She could not see the wickedness in her aunt's eyes. A few moments later, the slow, steady beeping of the life support machine began to slow, then faded. The screen flatlined. Dr. Okoro stood by the bed, his head bowed, his shoulders slumped. He looked utterly defeated. He took a deep breath, turned to Ngozi and Amara. I am so sorry she is gone, he said, his voice heavy, almost a whisper. Amara let out a heart-wrenching sob. Ngozi embraced her tightly, a strange, triumphant glint in her eyes, unseen by Amara. There, my child. Your mother is with the ancestors now. She is at peace. She pulled away from Amara, turned to Dr. Koro, her voice regaining its earlier cold authority. Doctor, my sister was a woman of means, a pillar of this community. We will give her a burial befitting a queen. Contact the most lavish funeral home. Make all the arrangements. Nothing but the best for Yamara. Dr. Koro merely nodded, a deeply conflicted look on his face. It was as though he carried a heavy secret. The burial of Yamara was not merely an event, it was a grand spectacle, a testament to her standing in the community. The finest fabrics adorned the mourners, the deepest lamentations filled the air. The scent of expensive incense mingled with the aroma of party jollof. It was a scent of fit for an Iyaloja, a queen. Amara moved through the blur of it all, the shadow of her former self. Each tear shed by a stranger felt like a fresh wound, a reminder of the gaping void her mother had left. Auntie Ngozi, ever present, was her anchor, guiding her, whispering words of solace. Yet, even in her grief-stricken state, Amara couldn't shake a tiny unsettling feeling. The dust of the funeral settled, and with it, the elaborate mask Auntie Ngozi had worn began to sleep. A few days after the burial, the house was now quieter. The mourners were gone. Ngozi was no longer in black, with brighter, almost celebratory colors. She entered the living room where Amara sat quietly, looking through old family photos. Amara, Ngozi's voice was sharp, impatient. Still mopping around? Your mother is gone. Grief is for a time. Then life moves on. There is work to be done in this house, not just sitting around lamenting. Amara looked up, startled by the harshness. But auntie, I miss her so much. Nonsense, Ngozi scoffed, waving a dismissive hand. You're a grown girl now. Stop acting like a whimpering pup and wipe your face. The house, once a heaven of laughter, became a cold, unwelcoming fortress. Every day, a piece of Yamara seemed to vanish. A beloved ceramic pot was gone, a cherished brass lamp was gone, then the entire set of furniture. Goldie explained each disappearance with a flick of her hand, a dismissive wave, often talking loudly on the phone about selling off assets and clearing debts. Yes, the remaining stock from Yamara's store needs to go, and the Gele collection is all tied up in her debt. You understand? Ngozi said into the phone, loud enough for Amara to hear. So many debts, my dear. She was practically broke before she died. You wouldn't believe it. Amara emerged, confused and hurt. Broke? Auntie, my mother, that can't be true. Your mother was a master at keeping up appearances. All that flash and show, it was all built on borrowed money, on a house of cards. She died riddled with debt. I'm the one left to pick up the pieces, to pay off her creditors. You should be grateful I even let you stay here. The words landed like heavy stones, crushing Amara's spirit. Her mother broke. It was unfathomable. Yet the proof was in her empty stomach. The stink of hunger that had become her constant companion. 3 meals a day became two, then often just one meager offering, if any. The comfort she had known was now a distant memory, replaced by the gnawing ache of hunger and the constant knot of fear in her gut. She was a bird whose golden cage had suddenly become a barren, unforgiving desert. One evening, driven by hunger, Amara spied a plate of leftover yam and stew by the back door, left for the dog. Her stomach growled loudly. Hunger, they say, teaches patience, but sometimes it teaches desperation. Amara looked around. She grabbed the plate, devouring the food rapidly, almost savagely, tears welling in her eyes, not just from the flavor, but from the indignity and sheer relief. She finished it quickly, put the plate back, and slipped away. The next morning, Ngozi discovered the empty plate. Her face twisted into a mask of pure fury. She held up the plate, her voice like a viper's hiss. Amara, where is this food? Amara emerged from her room. She was so scared. Auntie, I was hungry. Hungry, Ngozi screamed, dropping the plate and stepping towards her. You stole the food that was kept for my dog. So you steal. In your mother's house, you become a thief, an ingrate. Onyoshi, you think I don't know your kind? This is how it starts. First, stealing food, then bigger things. You are just like your wretched ancestors. You have the spirit of a witch. The word witch hung in the air, a potent and dangerous accusation. Amara recalled, as if struck, tears streaming down her face. No, auntie, please. I'm not. You are. Ngozi grabbed Amara by the arm, dragging her towards the front door. You bring bad luck. You are a burden. Get out. Get out of my house. You are no longer welcome here. Go find your way. Just like your broke mother taught you. You were adopted. We are not blood. Go. Live in the gutter where you belong. Ngozi shoved Amara out the front door, slamming it behind her. Amara stumbled, landing on the pavement outside her mother's once grand home. The house, which had been her sanctuary, now stood as a cruel monument to her loss and betrayal. The suffering had begun, yes, but a new chapter of courage and a path of triumph lay just beyond the glare of a street light. Far from the warmth of her home, hunger became her constant companion. Cold, her cruel bedmate, and fear, a shadow clinging to her every step. Each passing day on the unforgiving street etched lines of hardship on her once smooth face. But beneath the suffering, a spark of resilience inherited from her strong adoptive mother refused to be extinguished. She learned to observe, to be weary, to survive. She slept at hospitals, churches, police stations, and tried everything she could to survive. She begged for food and carried people's load at the market for money. Just as the spirit begins to wane, sometimes the helping hand appears where least expected. One evening, as Amara was lying down by a shop veranda, trying to make herself invisible, a young man named Adele in her late 20s or early 30s walked by. Adele was dressed neatly but simply, carrying a bag that suggested she had just finished work, perhaps at the tailor or a caterer. She had a gentle, observant face. She noticed Amara. Adeze hesitated, then slowly approached Amara. Amara flinched, expecting scorn or dismissal. "Young lady," Adeze said softly, "are you all right? You look lost and familiar. Are you not Amara? You're Amara's daughter." Amara looked up, startled that someone recognized her, and then shame flooded her face. "Yes, I am Amara." "I thought so," Adeze said with a knowing look. "I used to buy fabric from your mother at the market. She was a good woman. What brings you to this street?" Amara hesitated. Then the dam broke. She recounted, briefly and tearfully, her mother's illness, her aunt's sudden change, the accusations, and finally being thrown out. Our lady listened patiently, her expression growing more troubled. Ah, this world! So many stories, some so cruel, Adele said, shaking her head sadly. "Listen, Amara, you cannot stay out here. It is not safe. I have a small place nearby. It's not much, but there's a roof and food. You can stay for a while." Amara looked at her. "But why? You don't know me." "I knew your mother," Adeze replied with a gentle smile. "That is enough. And my heart tells me this is the right thing. Come with me." Amara shed tears of relief as she nodded silently. She followed Adeze through dimly lit street to a modest but clean apartment. A living room that doubled as a workspace, a small kitchen, a bedroom. The contrast to her earlier life was stark, but the warmth was palpable. Aditi was a woman of quiet strength and profound compassion. She asked no probing questions, offered no empty platitudes. She simply offered what was needed most: safety, warmth, and the healing balm of human kindness. Amara ate a simple warm meal, and the sheer relief evident on her face. In Adese's humble abode, Amara began the long, slow journey of rebuilding herself. She helped Adese with her work, proving herself diligent and intelligent. Weeks turned into months. Amara, nurtured by Adese's unwavering support, had found her footing once more. The young lady who once hid from the world now moved with a quiet strength, her mind sharper, her spirit unyielding. She helped Adeze with her growing business, her keen intelligence blossoming in this new, simpler life. Yet a whisper lingered in her heart, the unfinished story of her mother. Fate, they say, often plays its hand in the most unexpected ways. One day, Amara was helping Adizi deliver hospital scrubs to a discreet modern clinic in a quieter part of Lagos. It was not a place for public view, more like a private medical facility. Adizi pulled up to the clinic, handed Amara the package. "Just take it to the reception. I'll wait in the taxi. Parking is terrible here." Amara nodded, took the package, and entered the clinic. The interior was quiet, sterile, with soft lighting. As she walked down a short corridor towards the reception, a sound reached her ears. A soft, melancholic hum. Amara froze, her breath caught in her throat. Then it came, a sound so familiar, so deeply etched into the very fabric of her being. It stopped her heart in her chest. A gentle humming, a melody, not just any melody, but the melody of her mother's signature lullaby. She slowly turned her head, drawn irresistibly towards the source of the sound. A partially ajar door at the end of the corridor. "Mama," she whispered to herself, her voice trembling. Just then, Dr. Koro emerged from the room looking tired but focused. He spotted Amara. His eyes widened in utter shock. He was clearly not expecting to see her. "Amara, my child, what are you doing here?" Dr. Koro asked in a low voice, pulling Amara aside. "Doctor, that song, that humming, it's my mother's song. I heard it." Dr. Okoro took a deep breath, looking around to ensure no one was listening. His expression shifted from surprise to compassion. Come with me. There's something you must see, something you deserve to know." He led her back to the room. Amara's heart pounded against her ribs. She pushed open the door, and there, in the quiet room, connected to life support machines, was Iyamara. Frail, pale, but undeniably breathing. Her lips were barely moving, emitting that soft, familiar hum. The world spun. The impossible was real. Her mother, declared dead, mourned and buried, was alive. Amara rushed to the bedside, took her mother's hand, pressing it to her feet. "Mama, oh Mama, you're alive, you're here." She sobbed through tears of immense relief. Dr. Koro stepped forward, his voice calm but filled with the weight of his secret. "I never removed her from life support, Amara. I couldn't. From the moment your auntie insisted with such coldness, without even seeking a second opinion, I suspected. Her greed was like a scent in the air. Your mother had foresight. Years ago, she established a discreet medical fund for emergencies with strict instructions for me to use it when needed. When Ngozi ordered the life support removed, I feigned compliance, gave her a false certificate. I then moved your mother here to this quieter hidden wing, keeping her alive, using the funds your mother provided. I needed to protect her and to protect you. Ngozi would have harmed you if she knew your mother was still alive or if you challenged her. I knew the truth would emerge when you were strong enough or when your mother recovered. I had to wait for your safety and that of your mother. I convinced your auntie that there was no need for an open casket at the funeral, and she accepted. That was how I was able to keep your mother being alive a secret. Amara was overwhelmed, processing the depth of Ngozi's betrayal and Dr. Okoro's immense courage and compassion. She looked at her mother, then back at Dr. Okoro. Tears of gratitude flowed down her cheeks. Amara took her mother's hand gently and began to sing the lullaby softly to her. Her mother's hand twitched a little, a subtle, miraculous movement. Her eyelids fluttered. A faint, almost imperceptible murmur escaped her lips, a sound of recognition. Iyamara was awake. The power of truth, once hidden, was about to sweep through the city like a cleansing flood. News of Iyamara's miraculous survival and Aunty Ngozi's monstrous deception swept through the market and beyond like a strong harmattan wind. The outrage was palpable and the betrayal unforgivable. Ngozi was inside Yamara's house, now frantic, trying to pack a bag, her face contorted in fear and anger. Suddenly, a knock on the door. It wasn't the police. A delegation of stern-faced market elders, led by two powerful Yaloja figures, accompanied by Amara and Adeze. Their presence carried more weight than any formal authority. Ngozi One formidable elderly woman stated, "The market has spoken. The ancestors have seen your wickedness. You have defiled this home, betrayed your sister, and tried to steal from her own child." "No, it's lies. She's mad. That girl is a witch," Ngozi stammered, trying to deny. Amara stepped forward, no longer the timid girl, but with the strength of her adoptive mother's love coursing through her veins. "The only witch here is you, auntie. You tried to bury your own sister alive. My mother is alive and she will return to her home." Ngozi was forcibly but non-violently escorted out of the house. She screamed and struggled, but was powerless. The public humiliation was complete. She was literally thrown out, mirroring how she threw Amara out months earlier. Her shame was complete. Justice, slow but inevitable, had finally arrived. The serpent was cast out, its venomous lies exposed for all to see. Yamara, still recovering but noticeably stronger, was slowly brought back to her home. Amara was by her side, a picture of devotion and triumph. The house, purged of Ngozi's presence, was being lovingly restored. Later, Yamara, frail but with the familiar twinkle returning to her eyes, sat at her reclaimed market stall. Amara was beside her, helping, learning and managing. The market buzzed with renewed life. Yamara slowly began to hum her lullaby again, a little stronger now. Amara joined her, their voices blending. And so, the market queen, Yamara, returned to her throne, not by force, but by the undeniable power of truth and the enduring strength of love. Amara no longer a sheltered child, but a woman forged in suffering and triumph.
It is during our moments of weakness that we know the true intentions of the people we have around us. If you enjoyed this story, give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, and share this story with a friend or two that you know will like it. Thank you so much for watching.